How many of you guys have ever experienced or gone through a car crash? Also, how many of you guys can say that had an effect on you and your driving experience going forward? Personally, I can say I have been in a car crash and it has put some sort of effect on me and my driving experience as a person I am now, and even today going forward and every single day of my life. I've been in 4 car crashes myself, but the most I feel like scary and vivid one that had put the most impact on me was my very first one, and that was in the summer of sophomore year. Going into sophomore year with my friend. She was driving me back home in her mom's car from a sleepover, and she had just moved from Pepperell. She just moved from Chelmsford to Pepperell with her mom, and so we were very familiar. Like, we weren't very familiar with Pepperell, but like when we were in the Chelmsford area, we were very familiar and like knew what was like where we were and all that stuff, because we both were kind of like raised from there. So we were like not even 5 minutes away from my house, and we were going like 25 or 30, I want to say. I don't really remember the speed limit, but we were going the speed limit, and all of a sudden off of this side street, this lady just pulls out like really abruptly and really fast. So it kind of like T-boned the front and the passenger side of the door a little bit, which caused both of our airbags to explode, and I guess glass might have flung or something might have happened, because both of our windows were down, and like after the airbag and the smoke had just cleared, we had noticed like I had little cuts on my hand, and my friend had like blood, a good amount of blood on her hand, and we were like really confused. And like I remember Life of the Party in the USA playing by Miley Cyrus in the car, and like after the airbag had went off, like the volume had amplified so much louder, because like it definitely wasn't as loud as it was beforehand. So that was really like scary and stressful. So like after we had gotten out, and like we were in Chelmsford, so there was like a bunch of different houses like on the sides, like the streets, and they had came out and like checked on us. And like once we got out of the car, we immediately went to the other side, like the other people that were in the crash, and we wanted to check on them. And when we did, the neighbor had already like opened the door and was trying to speak to her, but she seemed like really unresponsive, and like couldn't really form any type of like sentence, and she just seemed really like, not there. So at that point, the other neighbors had brought me and my friend to their yard and brought us like seats and waters, and like was trying to calm us down. And at the time, like I said, my friend had moved to Pepperell from Chelmsford where we were, and her sister still lived there, so she had called her mom and then her sisters, because her sister and her sister's boyfriend were gonna come and check on her. And I called my parents, and they had came and checked on us, and like we got checked up by the ambulance and stuff, and it was a really scary and like traumatic experience. I remember like a day after, I had formed a big bruise from like my collarbone from the seatbelt, and the impact from the airbag. That was just so crazy. And that was my very first car crash, and it was probably the most like impactful and caused me to have like very big effects on me and my driving experience. One big impact effect that I noticed that it caused, even my friends do call me out on it sometimes, and they think it's like funny, is that like when I always like being in the front seat. First of all, always front seat, buckled up, and I just like being able to see my surroundings and stuff. I am very cautious. Like that's one thing that I've noticed that it affected me. Second thing is like when my friends go to brake or like other things, like, or even like they're not gonna be braking and like I see someone coming and I feel like they need to be braking, I'll like hold on the dash, like looking at them like they need a break or something. Like being a backseat driver, that is a very big effect on me that I've done. And like they call me out, they're like, girl, we're good, like I don't need a break, they're fine. But like it's just in me, that's just like something that happens. Also, another effect I feel like it had on me is the way I am as a driver. Also when I had my permit at the age of 16, and after that experience I didn't really drive that much, and then like I let that my permit expire, so then I had to go again. And then after, when I went again, I was 20, and then I went for my my license at 20. So I finally got my license at 21 years old after having my permit for like a good while. But like I was just really anxious of like driving and getting on the road after that, so that had caused like a really big fear in me driving in general. But after getting my license at 20 years old, I am now 21. It's been like a year with it, and like I am, as a driver, I'm very anxious, and like not anxious, but like I'm very confident in myself. But it's like the other people on the road I am very like self-aware of too, even though it should just be me. Like I'm very anxious of everyone, and I know what I'm doing is good, but it's just like everyone else, I don't know what they're gonna be doing, and that's my fear all the time. But gotta chuck that in the past, you know. But I feel like it caused me to be a very good, like, I don't drive with my music so blaring like all my other friends do. Like I keep it at a very low minimum. I'm always wearing my seatbelt. Some of my friends don't, and I'm always yelling at them like a mom, because I feel like the seatbelt is so important. It saves lives, like literally. I drive not very fast as some would. I don't use the highway very often. That's like one thing I don't use. It's just little things like that have experienced, but I think of those as more of a positive than a negative. So I feel like there's good effects and there's also positive effects, and like it makes me a very good and aware driver, and there's always good and bads, and it's always a life lesson. And